Honourable members have examined and approved the voting proceedings of Thursday, 25th January 2018. Announcements. Honourable colleagues, we have in the gallery students of Dar al Hikmah International Academy, DIA, all the way from Duta Alhaji Abuja. Round of applause for them. Thank you for coming. Kindly take your seats. No further announcements, so we'll move to petitions. Any member has a petition to present to the House, may please rise to do so. Any petitions? No petition. First order of the day, honorable colleagues, is the third reading of the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Research and Innovation Council, National Research and Innovation Foundation, and for matters related thereto. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Tuesday, 28 November 2017. Therefore, call on the Leader of the House to move the bill now read the third time. In the absence of the Leader, Chairman Rules and Business. Chairman Rules and Business, could you please move the motion?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, Jeff. I represent the group people of Buru, my dear colleagues, I'm from Borno State. I rise to move that the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Research and Innovation Council, National Research and Innovation Foundation, and for matters related there, be read the third time. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, are so moved.
Honorable Dende, second, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Emmanuel Menga Udendi. I represent Kasnawa in the whole federal constituency. I'm from Benue State. I stand to the motion as moved by Chairman Rules and Business. I so support.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes of it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Research and Innovation Council, National Research and Innovation Foundation, and for matters related thereto. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Second order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on the general principles of bill for an act to amend the Animal Diseases Control Act, Chapter A, 17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to increase some penalties to provide for the establishment and maintenance of electronic animal identification system throughout the Federation and for related matters, studied in the name of Honorable Ahmed Baba Keita and Honorable Ali Jesse Isa. Honorable members will recall that the bills were consolidated Thursday, 25th January 2018. Now I invite Honorable Keita to move that the bill be now read the second time. In the absence of Honorable Keita, if Ali Jesse is around, it's not around. Chairman Rules of Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Ali Jesse himself contacted me that he was not going to be around. And since Brother Kenya, the other sponsor of the bill, too, is not on the floor, I will step down.
Debate on the general principles of bill for act to regulate international trips for medical treatment by public officers to strengthen the health institutions for efficient service delivery, and to amend the National Health Act 2014 to regulate international trips for medical treatment by public officers to strengthen the health institutions for efficient service delivery and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sajos Ogun. Honorable members will recall the bills were consolidated on Wednesday, 24th January 2018. I now invite Honorable Sajos to move that the bill be now read the second time. Who is the sponsor of the other bill?
Well, Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, Honorable Sajos is not available to move this bill. I therefore move that we step down number 3, item number 3. That's so moved.
Item number 3 on the order paper, stepped down by leave of the House. Fourth order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of the debate on the general principles of Bill for an Act to amend the Industrial Training Fund Act, Chapter 19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to increase the penalties for offences under the Act and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Chukwuemeka Anohu. Honorable members who recall the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 16 January 2018. I now invite Honorable Emeka to move that the bill be now read the second time.
My dear colleagues, sat there for second reading. I move that we step down item number 4 on order paper as Honorable Chukwuemeka Anohu on the floor. As so moved.
Fourth order on the order paper, stepped down by leave of the House. Fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of Bill for an Act to establish the Nigerian Civil Defense University, Azare, to, among other things, serve as an institution for high-level manpower development with the mission to train civil defense officers to acquire the highest standard of professionalism and knowledge, as well as awards degrees and other certificates to deserving and qualified students as may be approved by the National Universities Commission and for other academic regulatory bodies from time to time. And for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Mohammed Baba, honorable members who recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 21st December 2017. I now invite Honorable Baba to move that the bill be now read the second time. Where is Honorable Baba? Chairman rules and business, are we beginning to suffer from diminishing returns? Because I don't understand this bill.
Mr. Speaker, I saw you, obviously we are new, but we have to do our job. Unfortunately, Honorable Ibrahim Baba is not on the floor to move for the establishment of Civil Defense University. I therefore ask that we do step down item number 5 on the order paper.
Item number 5 on the order paper, stepped down by leave of the House. So we'll have Federal Road Safety Corps University in Wasai's Federal Constituency. if this one is passed. Six. Yeah, I hope we have stepped it down. I'm not too sure. So the fifth order on the other paper stepped down by leave of the House. Sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of Bill for Act to establish Federal Polytechnic Abiriba. Is it Abiriba? Abia State to provide for equity and access to tertiary education in the country, make comprehensive provision for its management and administration and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Nkole and Ndukwe. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 21st December 2017. I now invite Honorable Ndukwe to move the bill be now read the second time.
Well, my dear colleagues, I think what will happen is that if you have notice of your bill coming up and you don't indicate your availability, we will not bring it on the order paper because I think this is rather getting embarrassing. Honorable Ndukwe, 2 is not on the floor. And therefore, move that will step down item number 6 on the order paper.
Sixth order on the order paper, step down by leave of the House. Chairman, Rules and Business, maybe we should suspend second reading of bills, concentrate on motion and reports in view of the budget defense exercises going on. I don't know, I'm seeking for your input. Honorable Osai.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, some of us who are ready to protest our bills are not being called upon to bring out these bills. I know I have up to 7 bills lying there in position for second reading. And we expected that most of these bills reported for some of us who you know their money. And that's the essence of it.
Chairman Media.
Mr. Speaker, I think part of the problem, my name is Abdulrazak Namdas. Part of the problem is that we have budget defense is going on concurrently. And I think that's the reason why some of us are not available for this particular. And I will support your advice that we should concentrate on motions now, and so that after the defense we will have time for our second readings.
Motion and reports, not just motion. Chairman, Rules and Business.
Yeah, the DS had indicated that to me that should be the position. Maybe as a compromise, we'll concentrate on motion, but as a compromise, if somebody is motion and report. Yeah, but considering what the number of motions that we have in stock, if a member comes and feels seriously that it's going to be on the floor, I think as a compromise we can bring it on the floor too. Yes.
Ranking by age, former member ranking by age.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. My name is Jerry Abbas. I'm from Imo State, representing also and Lori Ferregas. Mr. Speaker, I take exception to the reason given by my neighbor here on side. We are very busy in the various committee rooms having budget defense. It's not because some of us are ready for our bills. Every other person is ready for his bill, but we are having meetings for budget defense and public hearings. So I will support Nandas and the Chairman Rules and not what Osai said. So that is self-enlightenment, and I'll take exception.
Honorable Shehu Garba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Shehu Garba Sarkinoma. I represent Jama Sanga Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I think Mr. Osai, Honorable Osai, seems to suggest that Nigerians are not will not get value for their money on account of the fact that maybe members are nowhere to be found. Certainly, this is not correct, Mr. Speaker. The budget is as equally as important as the bill that we are passing here. If at all there's any piece of legislation that is important to the Nigerian people, I think it's the budget. And I think, Mr. Speaker, your advice is well taken, and I want to urge our members that we should adhere to that. We cannot eat our cake and have it. I think we should find a way I don't think budget defense will continue for the next 1 month. I guess in the next 1 week, most committees will be rounding up the budget defense. It has not been our fault. Most ministries and ministers have not shown up. My minister has not shown up. He's probably coming this afternoon. It's not my fault that the budget has not been taken. So I think the bills are equally important, and I think they should have the input of all members, as many members as we can have. And that cannot happen when we have, budget going on concurrently. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I think we want to believe and want to accept the wisdom, of the advice that you have given. And I think most members will concord with this. Thank you so much.
The only way we can eat our cake and still have it is to ensure that we're baking another one as we eat it. Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whereas I support the issue you raised, that maybe we concentrate on bills, on motions and reports. I think that is a prudent advice. But I also think that where members are available to discuss their bills, it could be presented. But that should be led with a prior discussion with the rules of business to ensure that members are present to take them. So that where exceptions or even concurrent bills that require attention from the Senate, we address it. I also appreciate the fact that Honorable Osai has a very big factory for bills that he will usually mail out. So, but that does not presuppose that other members are not giving value for their money. So Nigerians are here. Once we have attention paid to the budget of the Federation, I think it's good value for money. That is actually where we place value for money and make sure we sustain it. Thank you very much.
Honorable Obaga.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name remains Honorable Sylvester Obaga. I represent Abakaliki Zifra constituency. Mr. Speaker, the procedure from the rules and business is that they send you messages concerning your bills and dates. And they can only fix this bill if you approve of your being present at the floor. I received 3-4 messages in respect of my bills, asking me whether I should be at the floor to take my bills. And if people confirm that they will be at the floor and their bills are fixed, I doubt if that could stop us from other happenings at the committee level. So we cannot shut down the bill process in the chamber at the moment, but they should confirm that a member is coming to the plenary before fixing that member's bill. That's my suggestion.
Honorable Jimo, last contributor will be Honorable Pajo.
My name is Jima Abdurrahim Olajide. I'm from Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, you are a reformer, and I wouldn't want anybody to diminish what we have started, what we have built in the last 2.5 years in this House. Reforms come within and not from without. Therefore, build is very important and necessary, more than motion. If we are not going to consider this and suspend it and pass through motion into resolution, that might not be a weighty thing for us from this House. We have started a good job. We have made number of bills up to 147, if not more than that. We must not diminish in that. We must increase the number, because the time does not wait for any one of us. In the next few months, we'll be rushing for one thing or the other. Election this, election that. This is our principal responsibility. We must make sure we focus on the bill. Whoever that is serious to consider the second reading on the floor should come up, and we should work hand in hand to support the good work the House Committee on Business and Rules have started. That's my conclusion. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Pajok.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Edward Pajok from the South of East. Mr. Speaker, may I join my colleagues on this very important matter? While I agree with the solution of they should engage those who have bills, I believe we consider fixing maybe like 2 or 3 bills, not more than 2 or 3 for a particular day, and then pre-discuss with the sponsors of the bills. Because like my colleagues said, Mr. Speaker, the issue of bills are also very, very important. Yes, not only the sponsors, but other members should also be present to also contribute, because we add some flesh, and Nigerians appreciate how we debate the bills. Mr. Speaker, may I also add that today, maybe many of the sponsors are not around. Even my neighbor said just came a few minutes late, because some of them assume that when we come in, we will do matters of urgent public importance and some other motions. Unknown to them, some people assume that maybe it's by 12 that bill matters will start. So I think we should also tell our colleagues that these days, so Mr. Speaker comes in by 11 on the dot. So let's try and come in on time and take these issues of bills. Actually, they are very, very important. And like my colleagues say, Nigerians respect the fact that this house is a progressive house, and we have dealt with so many bills. And this year is also an election year. Very soon, many people will be out in the constituencies campaigning for vote. So we have to combine the issue of the budget process and also the issue of the bills. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ordinarily, from what you have said, I'm not supposed to, but I still want to. My name is Lasun Yusuf. I represent Irekodun Olorunda Oludo Osogbo Federal Constituency from the state of Osun. Ordinarily, from what you have put forward, I shouldn't hard. Other than there is another missing gap. Like JJ said, you started very early in the life of this tenure that we should begin to take bills, specifically bills on third and second reading first, and we push motion to the middle of the agenda. But again, we have forgotten the fact that it is not only because of budget defense alone that people are not discussing their bill for second reading. People, I'm sorry, I don't want it to be an indictment, people don't come early. Like I just saw one of our colleagues, after his bill has been stepped down, he just threw in. And it will take the procedure of the House to release it before he can hear. So, Mr. Speaker, while you are rounding up on this issue, can you please just advise members again, since we all know that the first on the agenda is bills. Don't mind the first business of the day. The first on the agenda is bills. Let people come early to come and do their bill. That's the most important thing now. Then finally, the one I'm having. Yes, everybody is talking about the second reading of the bill itself, and we are trying to tackle that. But what about the passing of the bill itself? Mr. Speaker, I will say things on the screen. Please advise members too that the passing of the bill itself is as important or even far more important at times to even discussing the bill at the second reading. These are the two stages that we have to take cognizance of, because at the level of the committee of the whole, I think, and I don't want to say much.
Okay, I think from who is raising point of order? What point of order are you raising, Kole? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Kole Ukondugwe. I come under Order 825 on personal explanation. Mr. Speaker, please, I'm aware today that I was tempted to take a bill, for second reason, due to the exigency of the moment because of budget differences. So I was already in this rushing to come back to the chamber to enable me to take my bill. So I discovered that so by the leave of Mr. Speaker and the House, I plead that you consider me again that I take this thing for second reading. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that's my plea. Thank you so much.
will be considered again, but certainly not today. Honorable colleagues have had the perspective on the floor, and I think it is important for us to say that we'll not totally suspend consideration of bills. Just as it's been expressed, for the entirety of this week, because notices have gone, each of us is fixed with notices of the bills that we are considering for tomorrow and next tomorrow. So my plea is that for all the sponsors of those bills, they should try and make themselves available on the floor early. Even if you have a budget defense on that day, as soon as you're done debating your bill, you can make way to wherever the committee is doing the budget hearing. It is important. But subsequently, until the budget is passed, the chairman rules and business will be under no obligation to contact any member relating to any bill. If you have your bill and you believe that you'll be available to move it, it is now your duty to go and approach the chairman rules and business, tell him that, look, I have this bill and I want it listed, and it will be listed. And for those bills that will be listed based on pleas of members, if they are not taken, except very serious reasons are adduced as to why the member wasn't around, I think we will retire them in perpetuity, completely, to serve as deterrence, or someone who will compel us to list a bill and then not show up to come and debate the bill. So otherwise we'll concentrate on the motions and reports of committees. So that appears to be the position on the floor of the House. The chairman rules and business, please not ensure that we proceed that way. And I forgot DS's plea. This issue of consideration relating to reports and even the bills themselves in the committee of the whole. That is where the most important business of this House is done. When laws are actually passed, and in most cases majority of our members are not around, it doesn't all go well. In the sense that no matter how lucid and sound your debate is on a bill, if you're not around during the passage of that bill to ensure that some of those things you have canvassed are actually reflected in the bill, you will have missed a lot. And the typical example is the Electoral Act that we passed, I think it was last week. It was announced on the floor that this is one of the most important pieces of legislation that will ever come relating to 2019 election, and members were very, very regular. I want to thank you and then implore others too to ensure that they join in, to ensure that at least each bill that we pass here reflect the will, the general will of majority of the members who are here. So that is the appeal. Thank you. So we'll move on to the seventh order of the day, which is a motion calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, to address the perpetual darkness on major streets and roads in the FCT, standing in the name of Honorable Rotimi Ogunse. Honorable Rotimi is now invited to move the motion. Honorable Rotimi, perpetual darkness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dear colleagues, my name is Prince Rotimi Agusoye, representing Koshope Federal Constituency of Lagos. The motion before us is on the call on the Federal Capital Territory Administration to address the perpetual darkness on major streets and roads in the FCT. The House notes the perpetual darkness on major roads and streets within the metropolis of the Federal Capital Territory at night owing to lack of street lights and inadequate lighting and or lack of power supply to the existing light facilities. Also note the majority of the roads and streets leading to different parts of the city and destinations, as well as under the bridges and roundabouts, are often in pitch black from dusk till dawn, leaving citizens fearful and apprehensive of the unseen. Aware that the prevalence of darkness on the roads and streets in the FCT creates avenues for men of the underworld to perpetrate crimes, touting and intimidation of unsuspecting citizens, and also makes the city less receptive and attractive to residents and visitors. Also aware that despite the prevailing darkness almost everywhere in the FCT at night, there is hardly any presence of either stationary or patrol police vans along the very dangerous stretch of roads and under the bridges and roundabouts. Observe that some states of the Federation, such as Lagos and Anambra, have done well in ensuring that their major roads are well lit at night, and in some cases have to power the street lights with standby generators in the event of power outage. Cognizant of the need to ensure that major roads and streets in the Federal Capital Territory are well lit in order to ward off criminals, enable residents move about without fear in and around the city, as well as having a capital city that is receptive and attractive to foreign investors as it is obtainable in major capital cities of the world. The House resolves to 1. Urge the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to urgently provide street lights in all the major roads, streets, under the bridges and roundabouts within the Federal Capital Territory. 2. Also urge the Inspector General of Police to immediately deploy more police officers and vans to major roads and strategic areas in the Federal Capital Territory. 3. Mandate the Committee on Federal Capital Territory to ensure implementation.
Honorable Lam, is that your seat? So you're only inviting me to ask you to go and take your seat. Now you can second.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Adida Bolam Adishino. I represent the very good people of Ibadan, Southeast and Northeast Federal Constituency. I am from Oyo State. I rise to second the motion as moved by Honorable Rotimi Agusoye. I so second, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Rotimi, you can now lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. One would tend to ask, why are we in government? Why are we created by God? Yes, we are created for a purpose. But how are you going about achieving that purpose? Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Rotimi, tell us first how you came to this conclusion about perpetual darkness. That's what I'm interested in. Do you drive around at night, every day?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, sir, dear colleagues, I walk the way our speaker walks. Mr. Speaker is a workaholic. Mr. Speaker, at times I leave the office around 10, 11 at night. So when I move around, before getting to my house, you will see that the whole area is in darkness. So, Mr. Speaker, on the third day that God created this world and everything therein, by word of mouth, he said, let there be light. And there was light. Mr. Speaker, government, we tell the people to pay their taxes. We chase them here and there. Yes, they pay all this. Those amenities that we are supposed to give them, when they don't have it, how do we
government in governance is to secure the people and property, and also to take care of their welfare. Mr. Speaker, we have been all the years before now spending on power. We've been trying to be powerful, but with all the monies that we have spent, I think it is important we address this, Mr. Speaker. The motion is very straightforward, dear colleagues. If we want investors to come to Abuja to do business, they must be secure. And even, how do we do business at night? Those that are involved in doing business at night. If there is no light, there can't be business. And that is the truth, night business. So it is important, because if there is night business, it will improve the IGR of FCT. And that is the truth. So, dear colleagues, I appeal to you to support this motion. Thank you.
Why are all the Lagosians raising their hands? Honorable Nuruddin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Nuruddin Olaitan Akinwumi. I represent the good people of Ifako-Ijaye Federal Constituency, the state of excellence, Lagos State. This is a beautiful motion, no doubt about it. And I'm going to support the motion just on 4 bases. The first one is that in Nigeria today we have a prevalence of insecurity. And of course we know that security issues happen when you have darkness. Night marauders, thieves, criminals of all sorts enjoy their trade booms in darkness. And so when you have a well-lit environment, it scares night crawlers, it scares criminals. And so it is important that we have a well-lit environment. Abuja is the face of Nigeria. And so, if Abuja is well lit, the glamour, the beauty, the splendor that is required of a capital will be there. And so, investors will appreciate that beauty. So, it is important that Abuja is well lit. Thirdly, when street glows at night, when it glows, the beauty of the environment is enhanced. So it is important that Abuja, that is the capital of Nigeria, is well lit. There is no amount of spending that you can make to make your capital attractive that is too much. And therefore, I support wholeheartedly this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Osai, before we move to this room.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent local Federal Constituency of Delta State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in agreeing with the submission of the mover of this motion, I ask you to remind this honorable House, there was a time such a motion was also brought to the floor of this House in terms of probing the electrification of street lights in Abuja.
Order, honorable colleagues.
That report should be unveiled. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is this House took a resolution as regards the contractor that was contracted to lighten up Abuja street, and it failed to work. So bringing out this issue again,
is to re-energize. Because when you go to other cities in the world, especially their capitals, you hardly see darkness in those areas. There are a lot of activities that the lighting of our cities can help. It increases business hours because it increases value for money and the GDP of the nation. Because when more people participate in activity even up to 12 o'clock or sometimes 1 o'clock, it creates value for their pocket and incomes. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, this motion is good. We should allow these motions to stay true, but at the same time, the report of the committee that was set up to look into the Abuja municipal contract of electrification of our streets should be also unveiled. The essence of it is this, Mr. Speaker. If the Minister of FCT tomorrow embark on another project and it's a wasted at the end of the day, we can't keep on wasting money and budgeting money, and those monies are not creating value. Because I remember in the last even discussion at the floor of this House, which Mr. Speaker also ruled on, we were talking our minds move a lot. So I try to create that in you. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this motion is good. And this motion should be allowed to stay true. And that in 2018 budget, where the Federal Capital Territory appropriation comes, let this House resolve to make sure such provisions are made. Not only in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja Municipal here. There are satellite towns in Abuja that need street light. Because oftentimes we do budget for cities without budgeting for the satellite towns. Those satellite towns make up the economy of the FCT. And we should take time to be able to make sure that we direct the Minister of FCT to make sure satellite towns like Kubwa, satellite towns like Bobalada, satellite towns in other places which are within Abuja Capital Territory should be accommodated even in the budget for the electrification of the street light. On this ground, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. As of Sale, I represent the people of Ado, Obalibo, of Oku Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Benue State. Speaker, I rise to support this very important motion. Mr. Speaker, I like the way we are debating this motion because all the members that have stood up to debate this motion are being comical about it. But this motion is very, very important, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the body of this motion underscores the need for us to take maintenance very important, very seriously in this country. Mr. Speaker, I am sure in the budgetary provision of the FCT, they must have provided for the maintenance of infrastructure such as street lights and other infrastructural provisions that we have in the FCT. Mr. Speaker, I think this has to do with our maintenance culture, and it's like an indictment on the leadership and management of the FCT. The Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, as a city, is supposed to be the pride of the nation. These days, you walk around, you see people on the streets, street hawking, street begging, all sorts have resurfaced in the city of Abuja.
People are roasting calls in every nook and cranny, doing whatever they like. And it seems as if we do not have an administration in this city that ought to look at this very important menace that is going on. Mr. Speaker, it is very important that even in Lagos, where some people live, we know we have power challenges, but the government of these states, especially in Lagos, if you go to the city of Lagos, despite the power challenges, they still power their street lights using generators. You run, like the third mainland bridge that runs like 12 to 13 kilometers, at night it's well lit and it's run by generators. Those that live in Lagos will attest to this. So we must be very serious in what we do when we are given positions of responsibility. Without sounding prejudicial, Mr. Speaker, I think the Honourable Minister should step up to his responsibilities or wake up to his responsibilities to ensure that all the street lights in Abuja City are off. The lights are there. The only thing that probably will be lacking is maybe the bulbs are dead or powers don't run through the lines. What does it take? We provide generators that will power the city street lights at night. And this will avoid or it will forestall those night marauders and even witchcraft, because those people that are into witchcraft, they don't like lights. So when you have street lights all over the place, I'm sure those operators, those wizards and witchcrafts will stop parading the streets at night. So I want to support this motion, Mr. Speaker. I want to urge this House to support this motion. Let the relevant agencies wake up to their responsibility. I so support Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Samson Oku.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Samson Oku, member representing Odu, Obi Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion seriously because, you see, Mr. Speaker, when we are talking about electricity, we are talking about development. You will be surprised, Abuja is the federal capital of Nigeria. When an aircraft, when you arrive in Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, maybe at any time, maybe in the midnight, and you have decided to take your loop, take your trip to inside the town, you find that the street light from the airport to inside town, you find that it's blocked. And you see, it will be very impossible for any investor to come to this country when he feels that there's no electricity. So first impression matters. So if you go to a state like Gombe, you find that the use of generators are being used in Gombe State. In the street light there, you find that the government has made a plan in such a way that all the street lights are there 24 hours. And there are certain places like Anambra and Lagos. So if we can do it in some of our states, why can't we do it in the federal capital? In order to, because every investor that is coming to this country will pass through federal capital called Abuja. Thereby, when we make Abuja, electrify Abuja both in the normal electricity and using the generator in the street light, I think it will give a lot of impression. And again, Mr. Speaker, economies can only be boosted through all indices. There are a lot of informal sectors that are operating in the night. And those informal sectors, they contributed to the economy of this country. So if we did not put light, this street light for those people to operate, we found out that it will affect the economy too. And Mr. Speaker, we found out that at this point that Nigeria is passing through a lot of insecurity. I think it's very important for us to call upon the Minister of FCT to make sure that the use of generator in major street lights in the federal capital. As just we believe that the issue of insecurity will reduce to a level of minimum, and the police too. We call on Nigeria police, like the sponsor of this motion say, to make sure that they work hand in hand with the FCT command, so that most of those people hanging around in the night, you move in the night, people hanging around, you don't even know whether the person approaching you is a criminal or the person coming from your back is a criminal. So, Mr. Speaker, when there is electricity, I believe most of those things will reduce to minimum. So I like to support this motion, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So, okay, Honorable MT.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Marte Munguno Ngenzei, Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, with regard to the issue of this motion about giving enough light to Abuja in the night, I want to commend and recommend what my governor has done in my state. In fact, today when you go to Maiduguri in the night, you will be surprised. There is light everywhere, to the extent that I can vividly recall about 2 weeks ago, Honorable Ekotai, Honorable Udende, and some other members of this house who are even initially reluctant to go to Maiduguri when they were delegated to go on an oversight visit. By the time they went to Maiduguri, they were surprised that they never thought, even in the wildest of their dreams, that Maiduguri is going to be windy like that. Because everywhere there is light, and it is nothing else than lighting Maiduguri through to the Minister of FCT. Since we don't have adequate power supply in Nigeria, the only financial is to light, is to borrow the example of what my governor has done in Maiduguri, in Abuja, with a view to giving enough light in Abuja in the night, because Abuja is the image of this country and is the first port of call when a visitor comes to Nigeria. So whatever impression that one will have of Nigeria is going to be reflected of what Abuja is. So because of that, there is a need to power Abuja, to give light to Abuja by whatever means, whether it is by generator or through the national grid. So because of that, I commend the mover of this motion, and I also support the passage of this motion. Thank you.
Honorable Shagari.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm Shehu Shagari. I represent Diabo Shagari constituency in Sokoto State. I would also commend my governor for lighting up Sokoto State. And if Maiduguri is lit in the night, we know that it's necessary for security reasons. But in Sokoto, it's done to make us happy, and we thank our governor for that. Coming to the matter of at hand, sir, I think the security agencies have a lot to do with this issue. Why do I say this? In my area in Jabi, we had what I would refer to as perpetual darkness. For 2 years, our street lights never worked. We complained, and they told us there was a fault. So they sent officials of NEPA, and then they went up and down for 2 days and rectified the situation. Within 3 days, the light went back dead. And we found out that there were some hoodlums living around the Jabi Park, Jabi Motor Park, that were coming to deliberately destroy, the light system so that there would be no street lights. And they would be going about vandalizing vehicles and terrorizing the people that are walking by. So I also say that the security agencies should live up to their responsibilities and rectify the situation. Secondly, sir, I would want to propose an amendment to this prayer to include the covering of all gaping manholes in the FCT. All the manholes are gaping because the covers have been stolen by hoodlums. They move around with a cart, this cart that they put water jerry cans in it. And in the night, there are 2 of them, because I saw them. I didn't know what they were doing until the next morning. They have a cart, they come around, then one of them will use a metal bar to bring it up, and then they will put it in their cart, and they'll be moving. And they've succeeded in clearing almost all the manhole covers. And nobody is doing anything about it. And these manhole covers, sometimes they are so deep that even if you fall inside, you may not be able, if you raise your hand up, it will not come out. they could even prove better. So please, we urge the Honorable Minister to please look at these issues and make our city great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my right honorable colleagues. My name is Abdurrahman Shaibu. I represent Mubi North, Mubi South, and my Federal constituency. I'm from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, this motion is very, very important. It is important in such a way that in my state, for example, my governor always says the provision of street lights and lighting in the city is not just for fancy or for decoration. It is meant to improve the security of life and property. It is also meant to improve business activities. And research carried out in Adamawa State has revealed in all these local government headquarters where the governor has provided adequate security and street lighting, criminal activities have reduced by more than 70%, 70 to 80%. And the same thing, economic activities have improved drastically. So we need to look at this, support this motion, so that at least Abuja is the capital. But now we consider Adamawa State as the capital of Nigeria because it's brighter than Abuja in the night. So I wish to also commend my governor for a good job that he has been doing in Adamawa State. And also the minister is from Adamawa State. I believe he will liaise with our governor to know what the governor is doing about providing security and street lights in the federal capital. The one he's doing in Adamawa, so that we can replicate in the federal capital territory. Also, not only the security lights, the street lights, but also the traffic lights are not also working. So we need to also look at that. If it's not provided in the budget, we need to provide it in the budget. If it is provided in the budget, we, at least the committee on FCT needs to make sure that this budget is properly implemented so that we can have lighting in Abuja, so that we can reduce the insecurity in Abuja. In some of the areas in Abuja, you cannot walk in the night. You will be afraid to move to some places because of the darkness. And sometimes when you drive also, because there is no, some of these traffic lights are not working, it's very dangerous. It causes a lot of accidents. So we believe the minister is hearing us and he will work hard so that he can improve the security situation in Abuja. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues.
Thank you, my honorable Speaker and my distinguished colleagues. The issue of lights in Abuja can never be debated nor be overemphasized. Because we all know security is very germane. Like in my state, Ekiti State, my governor powered all the streets with generator. So at night, you can even see if a pin is on the ground. And that has really helped the security situation in the state. I see no reason why Abuja administrator or minister cannot do the same. Abuja is the eye of Nigeria. This is where every visitors visit Nigeria will see, and they will say this is how Nigeria is. If you are to London or any country in the world, it is the capital that you will see and know how the country, the minister of Abuja, to make sure that every street, every nook and corner in Abuja is powered. If because of the epileptic supply of power, you can equally imbibe what other governors in other states have done by way of powering lights in every street with a generator. I so support this motion, and I think it should be done. It should be done that way. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity.
Honorable Rita.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name is Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi, Ifelon, the Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to support this motion on a premise that the expansion of Abuja itself has opened an avenue for some elements that cause security breaches around the metropolitan cities. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's no longer a news that in the night, according to my distinguished honorables that said he moves around in the night, it's not only in the night, Mr. Speaker, sir. There are some cities in Abuja, due to expansion now, a lot of attacks take place from 6, 7 p.m. as soon as it's dark. People are being attacked while they are waiting for traffic light clearance to go. Because of the area is dark, a lot of things can happen. You can be attacked and your next person will not know. So the area needed urgently to be eliminated. Mr. Speaker, it's not only putting on life in the cities. Abuja itself is going away from the capital territory is known to be. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, if you are a foreigner entering Abuja, it's not only about light. There are no good and genuine signage that will enable you to even locate your area, even when there is light. Look at the area of the airport. If you are coming to the international airport, there is no directory signboard that will tell you that you are taking your right or taking your left in order to get to international airport, as big as it is. A lot of foreigners miss their ways. Me too, I miss the way sometimes, trying to go to the airport because there is no directory to where you are going. And this is a city, the capital city, and it represents the eye, the first entrance. When you come to Lagos, you see it's a different ballgame. So I'm trying to say that the minister will emulate from all other states that are doing well in this issue of light. Because light tarries and darkness fades. But when there is darkness, good things go away. I want to support this motion that exposition of evil can be made available when there is light. But when there is no light, evil things can take place, and loss of life and properties are always done when there is no light because you cannot locate or see the face of your assailant. Mr. Speaker, while supporting this motion, I want to propose an amendment to the prayer 1. And that my amendment is urge the Minister of Federal Capital Territory to urgently provide street lights and directory signboards in the major roads, streets, under the bridges and the roundabout within the capital territory. I so support Mr. Speaker, sir.
I'll put the question. Okay, we have so many amendments. No, just 3, not so many. No, even though 3 are many by standard. Honorable Rita Oji, your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name is Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi Fellow of the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is on prayer 1. Urge the Minister of Federal Capital Territory to urgently provide street lights and directory signboards in all the major roads, streets, under the bridges and roundabouts within the Federal Capital Territory. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Any seconder? Honorable Nayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Nayo Edwin. I represent the good people of Ezano, Ishedu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from a Ebonyi State. I rise to second the amendment as moved by Honorable Rita Oji. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Abiente, your amendment.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I remain Awaji Nombek Dagomie Abiente, representing Andoni Opobo Nkoro, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have a very simple amendment to make on prayer 1 as well. My amendment has to do with the fact that closely related to security issues as issues of safety, that the street light is good. It will help us to further secure the city. But the traffic lights also are equally important in the area of safety. If you want to drive out of this complex, you will be faced with that challenge. You will not know whether you have to drive out or you have to remain where you are. So the amendment is very simple. Add to prayer 1 should be prayer 1B. 1B, further urge the FCT minister to ensure that all traffic lights within the city functions. Thank you very much.
Any seconder? Honorable Henry.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I stand to support the motion on the amendment made by Honorable Abiente. I so support. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Last notice of amendment is from Honorable Aminu Shagari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Aminu Shehu Shagari, I represent Yabo Shagari constituency in Sokoto State. My amendment is to have an additional prayer, which should be prayer 3, and then prayer 3 should be now be made prayer 4. And the additional prayer goes thus: to urge the Minister FCT to take immediate steps to cover all the gaping manholes on the streets of the FCT that are causing injury and pose a great danger to pedestrians and vehicles alike. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Said, go back to your seat and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Sahid Akanrefidabi. I'm from Ibadan, Oyo State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Shagari. I so second.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Eighth order of the day, honorable colleagues, is the motion on needs to investigate the termination of the public-private partnership PPP concession agreement between the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and Phase 3 Telecom Limited, and TCN's fiber optical telecommunication infrastructure projects, standing in the name of Honorable Rita Oji. Honorable Oji is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues. My name is Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi, fellow of the Federal Constituency from Lagos State. I rise to move the motion on the urgent need to investigate the termination of the public-private partnership PPP concession agreement between the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and Phase 3 Telecom Limited on TCN's fiber optical telecommunication infrastructure projects. The House notes that the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, signed a concession agreement with Phase 3 Telecom Limited in 2006 under the PPP agreement for the fiber optical development project to design, build, finance, and operate the infrastructure with unhindered access to existing and future fiber optic infrastructures on the network. The House also notes that since the signing of the concession agreement, extensive expansion and upgrades have been carried out by Phase 3 Telecoms Limited to rehabilitate and replace most of the existing fibers of 450 kilometers on TCN power line, as well as replace installation of about 1,600 kilometers of the new fibers on the routes where there were no fibers. The House further notes that between 2006 and 2017, Phase 3 Telecom Limited has made substantial investment on the project in the region of 25 billion naira in fibers deployment costs across the country, royalties, payment to TCN of 2.5% of revenues, procurement of transmission equipment, network maintenance and operational costs, payments to expatriates and personnel costs. The House is informed that the termination of the concession agreement without following the due process of considering the enormous commitments made on the project by Phase 3 Limited. The House is also informed that despite the fact that Phase 3 Telecom Limited has made full payment of all the outstanding royalties and retails to TCN up to March 2017, the TCN failed in the obligation under the concession agreement by not releasing linesmen and allocating space for equipment to Phase 3 Telecom Limited, which grossly affected the ability of the company to adequately meet the consumer's requirements. The House is concerned that the TCN terminated the concession agreement with Phase 3 Limited without respecting the rights of the concessionaire as contained in the agreement by exploring arbitration clause which makes the parties obliged to peaceful settlement of disputes. The House also concerned that in spite of timely intervention of the regulatory body, the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, for settlement of the disputes, the new managing director, Mr. Usman Mohammed, still went ahead to terminate the concession agreement. The House further is concerned that the termination of the concession agreement and outright closure of Phase 3 Limited operations, which has denied the company access to all its sites nationwide, will put the company's investment of over a decade in a jeopardy, coupled with the attendant disruption of services to telecom operators and security agencies worldwide, thereby putting all the stakeholders and subscribers at risk. The House is confident that if there is no urgent intervention in the matter, the development could cripple the telecom industry and also put the economy in the nation into a grave danger. The House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged termination of the concession agreement between the transmission company TCN and Phase 3 Telecom Limited and report back to the House within 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues.
Honorable Brown.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Randolph Iworene Brown, representing Degama Bonifera constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Rita Oji. I so second.
Honorable Rita, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for yielding the microphone to me again. I remain Honorable Rita Oji, member representing Ajeromi, fellow of the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion is investigative, and it's pretty important for us to know that there are some activities that we are not supposed to kick aside. There are some programs that no matter what happens, we must, according to law, listen to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And whenever we are doing a contract, I know there are certain issues that contracts should be aborted, either by completion or by fulfillment or by which way. But it must go into the line of which the agreement before setting up that contract was entered into. Mr. Speaker, it was alleged that in entering into this concession, one of the major way of settling any dispute that is foreseeable to arise because of this contract is that if such a thing happened, they should go for ADR, alternative dispute resolution, to save both parties from the rigors of litigation. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, this was stepped up by both parties, but in a bid to conclude it, even when they have agreed that this thing has been done, it came up that the new managing director, the new MD, pushed away the agreement which is done under the concession to follow the DR and went ahead to shut down every access this company that has spent more than 25 billion in carrying out its services. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my call to all the honorable members and Nigerians, we are having difficulties in our networks. You can have your Glo, you have your MTN, you have Airtel, you have a lot of problems arise because of this shutdown of these optical networks. And I believe that these hollow chambers, being the house of the commons, the voice of the voiceless, and the voice that speaks for the weak, should intervene and wedge into this crisis that is about shutting down a major thing that puts us together, security and networking. Mr. Speaker, I believe by the time this house goes into this analysis, they will be able to check out the best way of settling this dispute instead of allowing this phase 3 to go. We are inviting foreigners to partner with us in different areas. And by this way of shutting down 25-something billion that is already invested in this project, I don't know, Mr. Speaker, whether other companies will want to come and take up sub-jobs in Nigeria. And a couple of the establishments that are in Nigeria are moving away from Nigeria because of some policies that are not favorable to their existence. So, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I urge you to support this investigation so that it will be duly carried out and justice be meted on both parties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues.
Any contribution? Okay, it's investigative in any case. So I put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Ninth order of the day, honorable colleagues, a motion on needs to declare a state of emergency. The accommodation problems confronting members of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki and 3 other honorable members. Honorable Dasuki is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Abdul Samad Dasuki. I represent Kebe Tambuwal from Sokoto State. I rise to move a motion on the need to declare a state of emergency on the accommodation problems confronting members of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House notes that the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, established by Section 217 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to, among others, defend Nigeria from external aggression, maintain Nigeria's territorial integrity, secure Nigeria's borders from violation, suppress insurrection, and act in aid of civil authorities to restore order when called upon to do so by the President and Commander-in-Chief. The House also notes that members of the armed forces have discharged these functions heroically and remarkably to the unanimous concurrence of all well-meaning Nigerians. Further notes that the armed forces have consistently stood by Nigeria and Nigerians during the Civil War, the militancy in the Niger Delta, during the Boko Haram insurgency in the Northeast, as well as advertising Nigeria's credentials in the realm of international politics in its involvement in peacekeeping missions around the world, including the Western Sahara crisis and its many services to our brothers in Africa, especially in the West African sub-region in resolving the complex conflicts in Liberia, Sierra Leone,
and only recently in the Gambia. Equally notes that recently, the press has been awash with news of acute welfare challenges that members of the armed forces have been contending with, particularly the problem of accommodation, such that some senior officers are having to squat while others are being paid to share accommodation, and while others still are being housed in rented apartments. Also aware that the reason being advanced for this national embarrassment is that more personnel have had to be recruited owing to the involvement of the military in multiple forms of security challenges, particularly the counter-insurgency across Nigeria. Observes that although there appears to be measures being taken to ameliorate the situation, these measures are not only inadequate, but by the admission of one Major General Austin Oko, the Chief of Logistics, Defense Headquarters, who spoke on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Oloni Shakin, in one of the reports, the issue of shortage of accommodation has always been there, and the process of resolving the problem is slow. Concerned that despite the colossal sums appropriated every year in the federal budget for rehabilitation of military barracks and other measures, such as the establishment of the Presidential Committee on Barracks Rehabilitation, the residences of these men and women of armed forces continue to be both inadequate and grotesque. Determined that this matter must be resolved at once so that the men and women of the armed forces can focus fully on their critical jobs as stated in sections 217, subsection 1 and subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House resolves to 1. Urge the Ministries of Defense, Justice, Power, Works and Housing, and the Service Chiefs to immediately initiate an interministerial collaboration towards resolving all pending litigations with a view to expeditious resolution, and to also proffer solutions to the acute problem of providing befitting housing accommodation for personnel of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 2. Mandate the committees on defense, army, navy, air force, justice, and housing to liaise with the ministries of defense, power, works and housing, justice, and the service chiefs with a view to appraising and monitoring the progress of the interministerial collaboration towards urgently resolving the issue of accommodation for personnel of the armed forces, and report back within 3 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. MS, Honorable.
I remain Honorable Dr. Muhammad Sani Abdu, Al-Khalirikiri Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. I stand to second this all-important motion regarding the acute shortage and level of dilapidation of the barracks of our very, very gallant armed forces. I so second.
Honorable Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Zachary Mohammed. I represent Barutain Kayama Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I want to align myself with the motion as moved by Honorable Samad, and to add that why do we actually have barracks with so many kids? Because men of the armed forces, basically, don't have no recreation. That's why you find out that you see them having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7 kids at the same time. Because the barracks, Mr. Speaker, I need protection. I need protection, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I need protection. So, Mr. Speaker, what I want to say is that this debate or this motion is apt and is coming at the right time. Why do we have... Wait, they have seconded it.
Sorry, Honorable Zachary, were you seconding?
Okay, it was seconded. Okay, Abdul Samad, please lead the debate. Then Honorable Zachary can pick it up from there.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think since there is a lot of interest in this particular motion, I'll probably be a bit brief. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, like I've stated here, this motion, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, was born out of the consistent interaction between my committee, my members, and other committee chairmen and members that share similar committees of the armed forces. Right, honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, we don't need to say a lot about the armed forces or what they have been doing and they are still doing for this nation. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, over the time, the armed forces are always recruited. I will cite an example here on the committee which I chair, which is the Committee on the Navy. An average of 2,000 plus ratings and officers are recruited on a daily basis, on an annual basis, honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. But if we look at the amount of resources that is being allocated or given to the Nigerian Navy on an annual basis, is not enough. Thought over the years, the budgetary provision has not been enough. And if we as a House, which I believe we will take, is to bring measures that we find results. And one of the measures, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, is at this point in time, there is a dire need of intervention. We cannot leave the armed forces alone with the resources they have to take care of their officers and men in terms of accommodation. So by this motion, or declaring a state of emergency, is we have to have a plan, not only plan, but we have resources, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that we make sure it caters for the welfare, accommodation of members of the armed forces. So the whole idea of bringing an interministerial committee is to look at one, the litigation. Most of the services are faced with one litigation or the other. So in a situation whereby we sit down and get the Attorney General, I think there's a way that we can fast track this thing so that they can have their lands and carry the Ministry of Works and Housing is to make sure that if there's any provision going forward, for example, in the 2018 budget, we can see how they can partner and make sure we make up for the shortages in the accommodation with regards to members of the armed forces. Mr. Speaker, like you rightly said about 2 weeks ago, in the course of the fallen heroes, yeah, we as a nation, we appreciate the efforts that our members of the armed forces are doing on a daily basis. Yes, we have celebrated, and annually we celebrate the fallen heroes. But at this time, Mr. Speaker, what about the standing heroes? I think there is no better time to do that than now to cater for the welfare of the armed forces. So, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I think this is why I'm calling on the Honorable House to please consider this motion so that we can do justice to members of our armed forces. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable colleagues.
Honorable Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Zachary Mohammed. I represent Barote Kai, my federal constituency, Mr. Speaker, from Kwarasi. Mr. Speaker, I want to add that it's only in this part of the world that you give a man a gun and he's psychologically not in tune properly. Because if a man is not properly catered for in terms of his accommodation needs, and he's a distraction. And that's why you find out that men of the armed forces here and there, sometimes because of the psychology surrounding the environment where they stay, they tend to vent their anger on the society. So what that will correct, if the motion is taken, is the fact that we'll have a better armed forces, we'll have better men who are well motivated. I'll give you an instance. Why do we have so many of them giving back to too many children? There's no recreational facilities in our barracks. And that's why you find out that a private soldier will have up to 10, 11, 12 children. Because the only recreation, they are women. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure when the barracks are put in place and better things are there, they will have other forms of engagement apart from limiting themselves to their bedroom. So, I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, a lot of those barracks are eyesore. They are an embarrassment to us as a nation. So, if the motion is taken with the entire content. I'm sure we'll make it the right step forward. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I thank you for giving me the permission.
You're welcome. Honorable Sampson.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Samson Oku, member representing the Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion with the spirit and the letter. Mr. Speaker, as a soldier, there is no way you can go to war when you look back and you find out that your children, your family are not being kept in a very conducive environment. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, there is a need for this House to take the welfare of Nigerian armed forces seriously. Mr. Speaker, the budgetary provision of Ministry of Defense that comprises all the armed forces. If it is not enough, Mr. Speaker will ask if the executive can make available funds from service-wide road in order to concentrate in building the barrack to provide accommodation for Nigerian armed forces. I think it's necessary now. Because, Mr. Speaker, it's an agency that are filled with the responsibility to keep this country one. That was the time that, Mr. Speaker, in one of our engagement with them, they said that, well, if we, the members of the National Assembly, find that we cannot provide money, that if there is a problem and the problem of our there, we will not be in this chamber. And Mr. Speaker, that is true. If they are not there with guns outside there, fighting for the oneness and defending this country, I'm sure all of us will not be there, Mr. Speaker. We see when we used to block this National Assembly, block even the force headquarters, because when the Boko Haram were already entered to Abuja. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the welfare of Nigerian armed forces is very important, and this House should take it very serious. And the way it's stated in the report, that the committee, interministerial committee, to meet where even the Minister of Works and Housing will be involved to see where there will be available funds so that the accommodation of the Nigerian armed forces can be taken as a priority. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Dennis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dennis Namodi Ago. Mr. Speaker, I represent today the West North Federal Constituency and from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, a lot has been said about the motion, which no doubt is the thing that we have to support and give every encouragement. All I want to contribute to this, Mr. Speaker, is that the Nigerian Navy, of which I belong to the Navy Committee, has done certain things regarding their accommodation that we need to adopt, even as we pursue this program of rehabilitating the barracks of our armed forces. The Nigerian Navy has done so wonderfully. We were on Navy oversight visits. We visited their initiatives in the Eastern Naval Command in Calabar. We visited their initiatives in housing in the Nigerian NNS Pathfinder in Port Harcourt, where the Nigerian Navy, using their own men, their own engineers, their own designers, have fashioned and built excellent housing units for the Nigerian Navy. And at greatly reduced costs, Mr. Speaker. We were told, and which is true also has been verified by our committee, that the cost of construction is nothing more than just a little bit like half of what it would have cost ordinarily. I think that when this time comes for this emergency to be given to the rehabilitation and the accommodation of the Nigerian Armed Forces men and officers, that what the Navy has done should guide us as an example. Mr. Speaker, I hope I'm still protected. I am just saying that This example by the Nigerian Navy needs to be emulated as we try to provide accommodation for the Nigerian men of the armed forces. Thank you.
Honorable Gaza.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, my name is Gaza Jonathan Befi and I represent the people of Karu, KP Kokona Federal Constituency. I must indeed thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to speak on this issue, which is one that is very close to my heart. After the last oversight, or second to the last oversight, the year before this, I had actually put up a motion to this effect, which has not been listed. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, this is a motion that indeed is far too late, and I want us to treat with utmost attention. Right Honorable Speaker, in the course of my being a member of the Committee on Army, I have had cause to travel the length and breadth of this nation and see the conditions in which those that have paid the ultimate price and continue to pay for the sovereign integrity of our territorial jurisdiction as the country are living under conditions that are not to be even mentioned or spoken about. Right Honorable Speaker, to shock you that and their colleagues, there are some barracks that were built right from the time of the Civil War and up to today have not been renovated in any way. There are some barracks that were even built during the colonial era and are still being used today. It will also shock you to know, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, that there are some barracks where our troops are living in shanties. And when I say shanties, their accommodations are built with wood and are built with zinc. And our troops are living in such places. And I mean, no wonder that when they come out, even to associate with the civil society, to the civilian public, there is a bit of agitation. Why? Because you can't take it from them. When they live and give their life for the sovereignty of this nation, you will find out that when they go back, they are living in conditions that are not even human by the average standards. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I want to crave my indulgence that indeed a state of emergency be declared with regards to the livability and the housing and accommodation situation of our troops, and something be done as a matter of priority, because as we are, everyone knows that we are in a state of internal war. Herdsmen attacks on one side, Boko Haram on the other. The only true incentive and way that we can show and motivate our troops is by at least giving them decent accommodation. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Yinka Jai, I thought Zachary had spoken on your behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Yinka Jai, and I represent the people of Fellow I'm from Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I just want to highlight the statistics in respect of this very important motion. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, is about 1 million men. The total accommodation facility nationwide for the 3 armed forces is less than a quarter of that number. Therefore, we have over 3/4 of the men of the armed forces without any form of accommodation, whether habitable or otherwise. The 1/4 that we have, majority of them are in deplorable condition. As we have gone round the facilities in the barracks, especially the Committee on Army, and we've seen the level of degradation of the facilities, including the accommodation itself, the infrastructure in those barracks, water, electricity, and health facilities. Mr. Speaker, the role of the armed forces, if we intend to strengthen our democracy, is to ensure that we keep the military at what they do best, support the democratic institutions and to defend the territory of our country. Mr. Speaker, the challenge of the modern day with the new upsurge in terrorism activity all over the world, and particularly within our country, makes it very important that we keep the morale of the men of the armed forces very high and give their welfare priority. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, it's important that we all support this motion to ensure that the situation where we have over 3/4 of our armed forces, of men and officers of armed forces without accommodation, we all condemn that situation and we sit together as a government to ensure that we don't adopt a fire brigade approach at solving this matter. Instead of a fire brigade approach, I believe that we should agree on this interministerial committee as proposed by the mover of this motion, and to work out a plan, a sustainable plan over the medium term and the long term to ensure that we provide the necessary accommodation and the infrastructure that is required to keep our men of armed forces within the confines of their barracks and encourage and improve on their welfare so that they can do us all proud in defending our integrity both externally and internally. On this note, I want to commend this motion to all of us and that we all support this motion as moved by the chairman of the committees of the various armed forces. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Mohammed Umaru, member representing the people of Chanchaga Federal Constituency of Niger State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm standing up to lend my support to this motion. Mr. Speaker, anytime people talk about military housing issues, I keep wondering whether we are serious as a nation in terms of taking care of our security. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the armed forces, including the police, are not sheltered in Nigeria. I just want to add a prayer that not just armed forces, but even the police and other paramilitary don't have requisite accommodation in Nigeria. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, when we had issues in the Niger Delta, a commission was set up as Niger Delta Development Commission. Just of recent, we came to this floor as a responsible parliament and looked at the woes of the people of the Northeast and decided to come up with a Northeast Development Commission. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the issue of housing and accommodation for the military and paramilitary is not something of a joke. If need be, it is even beyond the Ministry of Power, Housing and Works. We should look into a commission that will be saddled with responsibility of providing accommodation and other welfare issues for the military and paramilitary. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, at this juncture, I want to say that the mover of this motion, they've done very well, and I leave my support to it. Thank you very much.
Last contributor, Honorable Mongulu, MT.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Taib Munguno. I represent Marte Munguno Gazai, Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as a responsive parliament to the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians, it behoves on this parliament to make sure that the welfare of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is well given for and protected, because these are men and women that have decided to sacrifice their lives so that we can sleep with our two eyes closed. These are people that have sworn to defend the territorial integrity of this country from foreign invasion. And therefore, it behoves on us as representatives of the people to make sure that we provide for their welfare, we make sure that they have a conducive environment within which they discharge their constitutional mandate. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I can recall that in the previous years, we have a committee that is called Presidential Committee on Renovation of Barracks. I don't know whether that committee still exists because I don't belong to any of the committees that deals with the armed forces. I don't know whether that committee still exists. If that committee still exists, then there is need by way of robust budgetary provision so that this committee will adequately function and renovate these barracks that are in complete state of dilapidation with a view to giving our armed forces a conducive environment to discharge their constitutional mandate. Therefore, on this ground, I support this motion. Thank you.
In all Imo states and other parts of the country, studying the name of Honorable Jerry Alagboso, Honorable Jerry is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and my colleagues. My name is Jerry Alagboso, representing Ogun, Osun, and Olufere State. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State. My motion is on the need to address the outbreak of Lassa fever in Olo, Imo State, and other parts of the country. The House knows that the recent outbreak of Lassa fever in Olo AGA of Imo State, which, according to the government of Imo State, claimed the lives of 3 persons, while 7 others were hospitalized, and also in Ebony State, which has claimed the lives of many health and non-health workers. Concerned by the recurrent outbreak of the deadly viral disease in the country, and the apparent non-proactive approach of ministries of health, both at the federal and state levels, to prevent the outbreak of the disease. Also concerned by the recorded number of deaths for Lassa fever outbreak in the country and the recent time and the past years. The House are aware that it is the constitutional responsibility of governments to secure the lives and welfare of the citizens. Thereby resolved to 1. Urge the federal government to put in place measures to checkmate the outbreak of the disease in our AGA and other parts of the country to prevent the spread of the disease and assist infected persons who are currently hospitalized in the areas. Also, urge the federal government to devote more funds and resources to research and development in the health sector and ensure that such funds are utilized in order to find solutions to the health challenges facing the country. And finally, mandate the Committee on Health Services and Health Institutions to ensure implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Nuruddin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akinwumi Nuruddin Olaitan, representing Ibako Ijaye, Federal Constituency, the State of Excellence, Lagos. I rise to second the motion as moved by my honorable colleague. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jerry, please lead the debate.
Mr. Speaker and dear colleagues, once more from Imo State, representing Olo and Osun, and the Rural Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this is a very straightforward motion. Lassa fever has taken its toll in the Ebonyi and Ondo states. And many people, both non and health workers, have laid their lives because of this deadly disease. But Mr. Speaker, just last week, This deadly disease started ravaging my federal constituency, notably Olu AGA, part of my federal constituency in Imo State. Mr. Speaker, it has been said that cleanliness is the killer of this disease. So I'm calling on all Nigerians, especially those who are concerned, Mr. Speaker, like the Federal Minister of Health, Center for Disease Control, Minister of Information, National Orientation Agency, to please step up their information, set up their campaign awareness, especially in our various constituencies, especially in all the nooks and crannies of our constituencies, so that people will be medically guided. Mr. Speaker, this motion is not just crying wolf. It's a call on all Nigerians to be medically alert in terms of cleanliness, which involves personal, human, interpersonal, environmental cleanliness, so that people should avoid the contagious nature or infectious nature of this disease. Mr. Speaker, this motion also calls on all Nigerians to be on alert so that whenever they see such cases, they'll be able to report and cry and condole and even raise alarm, just like the government of Imo State has just done in that of Olu. Mr. Speaker, this motion also calls for increased funding the budget allocation to the Ministry of Health, both federal and state, so that they're able to tackle some of these diseases. So I hereby call on our colleagues, especially those who are ranking by age and experience, to please support this motion, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Jimo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jimo Abdurrahim Olajide. I'm representing Lagos Mainland, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion, sponsored by Honorable Jerry, a very good one, and Lassa fever is not Lassa fever. I think this is the second coming of Lassa fever, and we have to take the bull by the horn. This disease is deadly, something that can consume so many number of people. If this country is not healthy, there's no way we can be worthy, because the issue of health is of necessity to human existence. Mr. Speaker, sir, on this note, I want to say, in addition to the prayers, the resolution provided by Honorable Jerry, I want to amend that urge the Federal Ministry of Health to embark on constant education, enlightenment, sensitization, and orientation of this program on Lassa fever and any other related diseases that can affect human existence. I so support her, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't think there's much to be said about this motion because it's straightforward. It has to do with the lives of our fellow Nigerians, our brothers. Lassa fever is not something you joke around with or will take time to arrest. It's in the same category as far as I'm concerned as the Ebola epidemic that happened some time ago. The Ebola epidemic that happened some time ago. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion and pray that we expedite action on preventing or curing whatever, if the Lassa fever has been proven to be in Olu area and then to extend not just Olu, surrounding parts of Olu, which includes Anambra, Enugu, Imo, parts of Imo too. And my minority will just inform me that there's also an outbreak a reported outbreak in Gombe State and State too. So I think this should be holistic and we should face it the way we face the Ebola epidemic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any more contribution? So, okay, yes.
In the spirit of our group, the elders of the house, my name is Lazo Yusuf. I represent the record of Olorun Federal Constituency from Osun State. What I need to add is that one, like JJ said, the disease is very deadly, of course. It has been killing a lot of people. So we only enjoy both the executive arm of government and the legislators that are bringing to the notice of Nigerians that we have to be very careful to maintain hygienic environments and to make sure that there are facilities in our respective hospitals to be able to deal with the issue. I rise to support it, and I think we should be able to pass it. Thank you very much.
There's notice of amendment from Jimo. So could you please move your amendment?
Mr. Speaker, Jimo Abdurrahim is my name. I stand to move the notice of amendment that urge the Federal Ministry of Health to embark on constant enlightenment, education, sensitization, and orientation programs on Lassa fever and any other related diseases that can affect human health system. And so amended.
Seconder, Honorable Rotimi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. My name is Prince Rotimi Agusoye, representing Koshofe Federal Constituency of Lagos. I rise to second the amendments as moved by my able colleague, Honorable Jide Jimo. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. 11th order of the day, honorable colleagues, consideration of bill for an act to amend the Hydroelectric Power Production Areas Development Commission Act 2010 to make provisions for reduction of percentage of revenue generated by any company or authority from the operations of hydroelectric dams and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 19 December 2017. Honorable E.Y. Okejev will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okejev, I represent the good people of Buruku. My dear colleagues, I'm from Benue State. I rise to move for the consideration of a report on a bill for an act to amend the Hydroelectric Power Production Areas Development Commission Act 2010 to make provisions for reductions of percentage of revenue generated by any company or authority from the operations of hydroelectric dams and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
Seconder. Seconder, Honorable Pajok.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Edward Pajok. I represent the South, the East, and a member of the Power Committee. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion being moved by the Chairman of Rules and Business.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. The 12th order of the day is consideration of bill for an act to provide for the prohibition and protection of persons from lynching or unlawful killing by mob action, riotous assemblage or extrajudicial killing in Nigeria, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 19 December 2017. Honorable E.Y. Okejef will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I'm Okejef and I represent the good people of Buruku, my dear colleagues. I'm from Benue State. I rise to move for the consideration of a report on a bill for an act to provide for the prohibition and protection of persons from lynching or unlawful killings by mob action, riotous assemblage, or extrajudicial killing in Nigeria, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
Seconder, Honorable Udende.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Emmanuel Menga Udende. I represent Kasnara Okum, Logo Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. I stand to second the motion as moved by Chairman Rules and Business. I so second.
Those in favor? 13th order of the day, honorable colleagues, consideration report of Committee on Police Affairs, the bill for an act to establish the Nigeria Police Trust Fund for related matters 2017. Honorable members will recall the report was laid on Thursday, 2nd November 2017. Honorable Haliru Daudejika is now invited to move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Haliru Daudejika, the Honorable Gango Federal Constituency, Bauchi State, Bauchi, Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I humbly rise to move that the House will consider the report on the Committee of Police Affairs on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Police Trust Fund and for other related matters 2017 and approve the recommendations. Thank you.
Seconder, Deputy Chair.
Mr. Speaker, once again, I'm Emmanuel Menga Udende. I represent Kasnara Okum, Logo Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. I stand to second the motion as moved by Chairman Committee of Police. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Bashir, the ayes have it. Acting Leader.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I hereby move that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. I so move.
Rules and Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by the acting leader of the House. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. I'll hereby resolve into Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Honorable colleagues, the first report to be considered is that of the House Committee on is it power now? Committee of the Whole is a okay. Yes, is a bill that has already gone through the Senate procedure. So ours is just for concurrence, and it's on a bill for an act to amend the Hydroelectric Power Producing Area Development Commission Establishment, etc. Act 2010 to make provision for the reduction of percentage of revenue generated by any company or authority from the operations of hydroelectric dams and for related matters. And I invite the Chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business to speak to the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As already indicated, this is a bill that has been passed by the Senate and passed over to the House for concurrence. As the long title of the bill indicates, it is self-explanatory. The essence of the amendment is stated captured in the long title of the bill. It has only 2 clauses, which is something we can do immediately. I therefore recommend that we take a look at the proposed amendment and act thereon. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, my dear colleagues, that is the whole essence of this bill.
Thank you, Chairman. Only that the amendment is, the bill itself is 4 clauses, not 2. You have 4 clauses. So let's now go ahead and begin to consider the clauses. Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4, Explanatory Memorandum, long title of the bill. I'm carrying bills on Hydroelectric Power Authority, and for you to begin to pay certain percentages. The next report to be considered, please, I want members to pay a particular attention to this one. Ordinarily, as a presiding officer, I'm supposed to be non-partisan, but I want you to pay a particular attention to the bill. It's a bill for an act for the prohibition and protection of persons from lynching or unlawful killings by mob action or riotous assemblage or extrajudicial killing in Nigeria and for other related matter offences, House Bill 1169. And I invite, please, I want honorable colleagues to pay particular attention to this bill from even the title itself. So I invite the Chairman's Committee on Rules and Business to speak to the report.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This again is a bill that is coming over from the Senate, that has been passed by the Senate, and they are asking for us to concur if we have to concur with this bill. Mr. Chairman, like you, I paid particular attention to this bill, and even before the report was distributed, I walked over to the learned sick in the house and gave him a copy to take a look at it, since maybe the time will be too short for us to listen. Personally, if you ask me, I have my reservation, but the learned sick has done more work on this bill. But personally, I have my reservation because if you read through what the bill is talking about, we have what is known for the non-lawyers in the House. We have the penal code, we have the criminal code. Penal code for the northern states and the criminal code for the southern states. And what the bill seeks to do is already captured in those pieces of legislation. Because the sections of this bill are meant to be operational at the state level to take care of this, and we will come and sit at the federal level and duplicate the same thing and be sent over to the states. That is one. And then if you go to the particular sections, for instance, Section 4, which is Class 4, liability of the state, they are saying that if a lynching takes place in a state, in a particular state, that state will be asked to pay compensation if it is shown that they didn't do what they were supposed to do to prevent it. You know, and I'm like, the governor is maybe a chief security officer of the state, but does he have control over the security chiefs in the state? So if you look at this, I recommend members to, like the chairman said, to take a critical look, especially the mayors in the House, and see whether we should agree with it. And let me remind you that this is not the first time we will be disagreeing with the Senate on bills that have been passed over from them. We have on at least 2 occasions that I can recall disagree with the passages of bills that are coming from over there. So the word concurrence should not mislead us to think that we are bound to accept what is coming over from the Senate. My dear colleagues, that is my take on this matter.
Thank you, Chairman. I will take in this order MC, whoever that signify after MC, Pajok, Rita, Letter Lawyers, and Ken.
Okay, Chairman, I still remain Honorable Mohamed Tahir Mogno. I represent Martin Mogno, Genzei, Federal Constituency of Borno State. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for recognizing me before recognizing the Leonard Essay, because you will have argued all what I intend to say. By speaking first, I think it will add more flavor to what I would like to say. Well, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, our constitution is the grand norm of the land. It's the alpha and omega. And in the constitution, we have the right to life. And it specifically states that nobody should be deprived of his life save in accordance with due process of law and in execution of a lawful order of a court of law. So, if a security man engages in extrajudicial killing, extrajudicial means it is not sanctioned by a court of law, so he is liable for murder. And then, as rightly observed by the Chairman Rules and Business, all these items are adequately covered by the penal code and the criminal code. So there is no need for us to come up whether somebody is deprived of his right through mob action or lynching is still murder. The name is still murder, it boils down to murder. And it's covered adequately by the penal code and the criminal code. So I want to submit that this bill should be consigned to the dustbin of history.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Edward Pojok. I represent the South East. Mr. Chairman, may I commend the Chairman Rules and Business for being very, very candid. As the Chairman Rules and Business, he ought to have just given us a synopsis of the report which came from the Senate. But he had a duty to tell us what the go to about the state of the laws. So I must commend him for doing that. And also agree with my colleague M.T. Mogolo. Mr. Chairman, sir, it is Section 33 of the Constitution that has made provision that everyone has a right to life, and your life cannot be taken except in execution of the order of the court. And as rightly argued by Chairman Rules and Business, it has already been covered. There is what in law we call the doctrine of covering the field. There is the penal code applicable in the northern states, then there is the criminal procedure act applicable in the southern states. They have all made provisions that if you kill, whether you are a member of the armed forces or not, the state will prosecute you. Let me say with some pride that I have had the privilege many times of arguing cases in court, up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court has affirmed the death penalty on serving officers, whether of the Nigerian police or the Nigerian army, for taking the life of Nigerians. When they try to argue that no, there's the Armed Forces Act, which is supposed to regulate the conduct of service personnel, the court said no, we are all under the law. The Constitution regulates all of us. So whether it's Armed Forces or law, it's all under the Constitution. And the Constitution has said you cannot take anyone's life except in accordance with an act, with the order of the court. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, the Senate, being unfortunately, has violated both the Constitution and the laws of the land. Let me further add on the other area that is still light on, the issue of legislative competence. Mr. Speaker, if you look at even from the third, fourth columns talking about role and operation of the state, liability of the state. Mr. Speaker, that is outside our legislative competence. Because if you go to section 4, subsection 7 of the Constitution, it says it's the House of Assembly that will make laws on good governance and peace and order of the states, not the National Assembly. We are to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not of the state. So if we now double into the state, then there will be no need for to have this House of Assembly. So we cannot make the law to bind the state assembly to say they should pay compensation on those matters. There are so many other areas, Mr. Chairman, where honestly this law cannot stand because we don't embarrass ourselves. If we now say we pass this law, somebody or the state now move to court, they will rubbish us. So my plea is that let us reject this bill coming from the Senate because it was not thoroughly done. It is a violation even of the Constitution because if you look at the Constitution, items 17, 38, and 45 talks about the exclusive jurisdiction of the National Assembly to legislate on issues of security. Whether it is the police, whether it is the armed forces, whether it is defense, it is we that have competence on those matters. Then again, if you go to sections 214 up to 218, from the Nigerian police to the armed forces, we have exclusive legislative competence. How then do we now say the state should pay for the incompetence of our own officers of the federal government? It is what is called reductio ad absurdum. It is absurd and should not be allowed to stand. So, Mr. Chairman, I have my way to say that we should reject this bill coming from the Senate. Thank you, sir.
You still want to, after your lawyer colleagues have spoken?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman. My learned colleague has equally gone round the entire thing, but there is just a little thing. Whenever we are in court or argument, it's always the issue that you say the local government versus the accused. States in all rounds means is the federal that handles when it comes to the issue. What we're talking about as a nation, we have criminal code, which is explicit, and we have penal code the same way. I don't see the reason why anybody in the first place will bring this kind of thing in the first place as it will pass the first and second reading. It's absurd. I think we don't need it, sir. I align with whatever my colleague has said. Thank you, sir.
And lastly, now from the mega point from ranking by each point. Honorable Jerry Alakoso.
Yeah. The Chairman, thank you for this opportunity. I'm not a lawyer, sir, but my daughter is a lawyer. Chairman, I am surprised at the structure and the syntax of this very deal we are going to consider. Having listened to the learned sec and other lawyers, Mr. Chairman, on the opinion, you know, whether we like it or not, there are some gurus among our class. First and foremost, those who are concerned with this drafting should try and find out whoever did this. But I'm very sure that the clerk did this and advised him about this abortion before pregnancy. So the next time, he will not be presenting this type of thing to the House of Reps. Secondly, the usual practice, the recognition you normally give to, which we usually give to the learned people, the lawyers. Then they find out the reason why we should reject this and then forward it to the Senate. Then you look at try to come back for it. Thank you.
They have given us all the reasons why the bill must not even be considered at all. And those reasons given are already part of the document of the House because it's verbally recorded. And so, if anybody is looking for reasons why the bill is going to be rejected, it's just for us to refer to the record of the House. Those are the reasons. When I first saw it in the morning, I said, if not because of the duty of being the chairman of the committee of the whole, my poster to the chairman of committee on rules and business is that no, I'm not going to sit down where this bill is going to be considered. I said, you are duty bound, but go to the committee, open it to discussion, and let's see how it goes. For something that is already taken care of in the Constitution, already taken care of by the existence of the penal code and the criminal code. Yes, we are coming to write a law that is even of so many draftsman errors, like you pointed out. So we go by Pajok's recommendation in parliamentary term that the bill is rejected, and so we don't have to bother ourselves on it. No, it's not also that rejected, it was the House. And that was why I was looking for. You want us to move a motion for it? No, I always watch them because they know the rules very well. You are saying something. You want to talk to your clerk? You know, thank you very much for properly guiding the House. The next report to be considered is that of the police. Is a report of the Committee on Police Affairs on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Police Trust Fund and for related matters, House Bill 3894 2017. I now call on the Chairman House Committee on Police Affairs to speak to the report. I hope you have any of your members on the floor. Your deputy is here. It's only your deputy that is here. Chibok girl, are you in police affairs? Chibok girl is here. That's why you have peace in Chibok now. So, Chairman House Committee on Police Affairs, speak to the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable colleagues, the House on Tuesday, 2nd May 2017, will a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Police Trust Fund and for other related matters, 2017, for the second time, and refer them to the Committee on Police Affairs for further legislative action. Objective of the bill, Mr. Chairman. The bill seeks to establish the Nigerian Police Trust Fund to operate for a period of 6 years, to, among other things, provide further funds for the training and retraining of the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force, provide equipment and machinery to improve the general welfare of the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force, and enhance welfare and enhance their preparedness for effectively discharge their constitutional responsibilities of protection of lives and properties of the people of Nigeria. The police is by law saddled with the responsibilities of the prevention and detection of crimes and preservation of peace and order, and the enforcement of laws and order and regulations. It is therefore expected to discharge these duties efficiently and effectively with adequate funding. Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, funding the police will no doubt boost its morale and improve its operational efficiency. Until the Police Trust Fund bill is passed, every attempt towards curbing corruption within the force will be a wild goose chase without human race. The passage of the bill into law will, among other, improve on the overhead costs in all police stations, prevent the police from being partisan during election when officers and men are at the mercy of the states and local governments for resources for mobilization, prevent few officers and men who are available for being overworked and overstressed, put an end to rickety and non-functional patrol vehicles, and provide fuel for those that can move. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the committee has worked on the bill and made its recommendation